Hi, welcome to Dharma.TV show number 15. Today I would like to continue on with this series in discussing the Dharma and how we can utilize the Dharma to find happiness in our life, to find contentment in our life, and to become enlightened in our life. Now, today I would like to continue with the discussing the temporary nature of life. And I would also like to discuss thoughts today, or what we regard as thoughts, what are spoken of as thoughts. Thoughts, or things that rise in our mind, remember all thoughts are simply something that rises within our mind. Our mind itself has no thoughts of its own. You can check this for yourself. But if our mind has no thoughts of its own, our mind only has the ability to be cognizant, and our mind has the quality of clarity, crystal clarity, completely clear. A vast clarity is how we might describe the nature of our mind. Now, thoughts then are the appearances to our mind of something that begins and flows through our mind, and then we hold on to it or let it go. Some thoughts we choose to hold on to, some thoughts we choose to let go. Now, the thoughts that we hold on to oftentimes can cause us great stress and suffering. However, we can learn through meditation and while meditating to see our thoughts and to be able to let go of them. By doing this, then, we gain this ability then to let go of our thoughts, not just during meditation, but during all periods of the day, all the periods when we're not meditating. Now, thoughts are something that we can ask ourselves, where does a thought come from? Where does it go when we're done with it? When we no longer, when we discard it, when we no longer have any connection to it? Let's say it's 10 o'clock this morning, you had a series of thoughts. If I said to you now, do you know what thoughts you had at 10 o'clock this morning? You might say yes, you might say no. If I said, do you know what thoughts you had at 10 o'clock Wednesday morning 30 days ago? You would say no. Now, yet, you may have been willing to become angry about those thoughts. You may have been willing to become despondent or anxious, fearful around those thoughts, yet at this moment you can't remember them, and you will never be able to remember them, because thoughts are something that simply flows through our mind, and we choose to see permanence in some thoughts and impermanence in other thoughts. What we need to see now is that all thoughts are impermanent. All things that flow through our mind are impermanent. We have to understand that life itself is temporary, and all things that take place within our life are temporary as well. Now, this is the case for all people. We are all identical in this way. All living, breathing creatures are identical in this way. All of us are living a temporary existence in this particular form, the form of a human being, the form of a beetle, the form of a fish, a dog, a bird, a cat, so on and so forth, a frog, a monkey. All of us are living within this form and in a temporary way. And all the things that happen within these lives are temporary as well. So then we can say that all our thoughts are temporary, and that we can look at where a thought comes from. Well, it seems to be spontaneous. It seems to spontaneously rise on its own, and it just as spontaneously drifts away. Now, so the statement for today then that I would like to discuss is, I would like to make this statement. The statement is, the only thing we truly encounter in life is our own thoughts. Now, what does this mean? I'll say it again. The only thing that we encounter in life is our own thoughts. Now, when we experience an appearance, no matter what that appearance is, the appearance of a temperature on our skin, the appearance of rain, the appearance of food, the appearance of something, shape, light, color, form, the experience of a pleasant thought. When we encounter these experiences, we are cognizant of them. We become cognizant of them. And we do not become cognizant of all the things that we experience. There are only some that we become cognizant of. The Tibetan idea is that we can be walking down the street and a truck may pass by us in the street. We know it's a truck. We have that experience, the noise, perhaps the vibration, but we don't really pay any attention to it. It just goes right by. On the other hand, we may see or experience something else on the sidewalk or in the street that we do pay attention to. So we selectively pay attention to certain appearances that we experience. Now, when we pay attention to these appearances that we experience, no matter what they may be all of the thousands of things that we encounter in a day, the thousands of appearances that we encounter in a day. If we have a very busy day, we may encounter many more than thousands, multiple thousands of appearances. So then we have a cognizance, we become cognizant of them. When we become cognizant of them, we have an interpretation. We say, oh, that is this, that is the color red, that's bright, that's rain, that smells good, that smells bad. We begin to choose between good and bad. And then we say that these things are meaningful. However, what I can say then is that what I'm really doing is I'm experiencing an appearance, but I'm really experiencing my interpretation of the appearance. I'm really experiencing my own thoughts. So there's an appearance there, or what I perceive to be an appearance, but what I'm really experiencing are my own thoughts. Now, this understanding in a profound way can free us from all action. This can free us from suffering. This thought, this understanding can free us from suffering. Let's say I encounter something and I become angry, or I encounter something and I become fearful or despondent, jealous, whatever it may be. Now, if I understand that my despondency or these feelings of being despondent is simply a thought that's rising and flowing through my mind, then I can understand that I can let go of that. That is simply my understanding of the appearance. To give you an example, if let's say it's winter and we like the snow, and so one day it snows quite a bit out and we go outside and we enjoy it quite a bit. Everything is white and clear, and the air is cold, and it's very enjoyable. And it also happens to be a day off, okay? A day when we have no responsibilities. So we go out and we walk around and we think, oh, how beautiful, the trees are covered in snow and the snow is around my feet and it's blowing in my face, and how wonderful this is, how wonderful it is to be alive. Now, these are thoughts that are flowing through our mind when we experience this appearance. Now, the next day it snows a little bit more. And when it snows a little bit more, but the next day we have responsibilities. And we therefore have to go out and to finish our responsibilities. We have to struggle in the snow. We have to drive in the snow. We have to walk in the snow. It becomes uncomfortable and it's cold. We have to go very far and it is very cold. Now, so we begin to quickly think that what we had the thoughts of pleasure about the day before, today we have only thoughts of pain and misery around it. So this shows us then that what we are really experiencing is our thoughts. We have this appearance of what we regard as snow and cold. And we all know that snow is precipitation, it's water. And we can understand water as being the same all over the world, all over the planet. Water is the same. If we understand that water is the same all over the planet, we become enlightened. If we do not understand that water is the same all over the planet, we will not become enlightened. So when we have one day where our thoughts are of enjoyment of the snow, and the next day our thoughts are suffering and misery of the snow, we begin to see very quickly that we have the thoughts. Those thoughts belong to us. If my friend is with me on the day when I have responsibilities in the snow, and they maybe look at it and they may say, well, yes, but I really love the snow, and I really love the cold, and I don't care how miserable it is or how cold my hands and feet become, I still really love the experience of the snow. So again then, we're finding that we are our thoughts. So what we really experience is our thoughts. All around us, emptiness is constant change. We can refer to that as movement in emptiness. And the movement in emptiness is constant change. Appearances that we experience are constantly changing. They're never staying the same. So we can understand then that it is our thoughts that we truly experience. We experience emptiness and our cognizance, and what flows through our mind, and what we give rise to, what rises within our mind. If we attach permanence to these things, then we will find suffering. And if we attach impermanence to these things, then we will find happiness. So it begins with understanding then that the only thing that we really experience, or truly experience, in this life is our thoughts, the thoughts that flow through our mind. This is very important. As we go through our life, if we find ourselves talking incessantly to ourselves, or finding ourselves becoming upset about something, or finding ourselves being carried away and feeling or giving rise to strong emotional thoughts rising through our mind, then we can understand that this is simply the next thought, one more thought, with the one that came after the one that came before. So we have many things rise in our mind in a day, but if we understand that all of these things that rise in our mind in a day are truly what we are experiencing, we are experiencing what is rising in our mind, if we put our, if we go to the beach and we put our foot in cold water, then what we can say is that we experience the coldness on our foot. And that experience is not in your foot, that experience is rising through your mind. So the profound understanding then must be that I am my thoughts, or my thoughts that are rising in my mind are how I'm responding and who I appear to be. Now, remembering that the mind has no thoughts of its own, that the mind is completely clear, crystal clarity, and that it has the capacity to be cognizant. Often we use this cognizance to judge. We immediately divide things into good and bad. This is what we do. Some people do this more than others, but everyone does it. Everyone says, I like this, this is good. I don't like this, this is bad. But again, if we come back and we say thoughts of things that we like are simply thoughts that are rising through our mind, it is the way that we are choosing to experience this appearance, this constantly changing appearance, this movement of emptiness. We are choosing to experience it as something that we like. The same goes for something that we don't like. We are choosing to experience it as something that we don't like. Let's say we have a partnership with someone, a relationship or some other type of partnership, and they say something that we don't want to respond to, or that we don't respond to very well, or they say something that they have said to us before which was confusing to us and we did not know how to answer. Again, if we look at this and we say, well, this is a thought that's rising through our mind. If I was to say, well, I really don't know what to say about that in a conversation, then what I would be saying is that the thought that's rising through my mind is that I have nothing to say about them, or that I have confusion about them. But it might be better to just say, well, you know, I'm temporarily confused about that right now, without needing to justify your confusion. Many people walk around very confused in their life. So if we are confused, we can state it. If we have something to say, then we can say it, understanding that all the things that we say are simply the thought that is passing or flowing through our crystal clear mind, and should not be taken as something permanent, and should be taken as something impermanent. Now, this does not mean that we should have a lack of compassion. We need to develop compassion. We need to generate compassion. We need to have extreme compassion for the people, or for the ocean of suffering that is life. Life is an ocean of suffering. It is an ocean of suffering for all creatures. And we need to have compassion, not pity, but compassion for the fact that all of us are caught in this ocean of suffering. We can escape this ocean of suffering. We can free ourselves from this ocean of suffering if we understand that life is truly our thoughts and not the appearances that we encounter. Now, I would like to say that's it for this show. And if you would wait for the next show, we will continue on with this series. And I want to thank you very much for watching tonight.